Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Blue Wave. I'm your host, Max Lopez. We got a great show lined up for you today. We're going to be starting off with AOC endorsing Biden in what could be the beginning of the end for Marianne Williamson's campaign against Joe Biden. Wisconsin governor increases school funding for next 400 years using a loophole of his veto power of the Wisconsin governorship. Really smart hardball politics here. We got a pro DeSantis suburban mom worrying about the abortion ban and how it's going to affect Ron DeSantis's chances of being the nominee. I've been saying this stuff for months now, if you've been watching me. Mike Pence not buying the idea that the rich should pay their fair share. Real shocker there, right? Next, we have the lieutenant governor in North Carolina telling Moms for Liberty, which is this conservative group, that it's time to start reading Hitler quotes. Yes, Hitler quotes. That's right. You didn't mishear me. He's telling them it's time to read Hitler quotes. And ended off something fun. There's a search underway for a missing pet wallaby in a rural Oklahoma town. I didn't know these things were even here in the United States or that you could own one. Apparently this thing is missing. Very sad. So let's get into it here. We got AOC endorsing Biden's campaign, sending a strong signal of Democratic unity. So we've been hearing a lot about how Joe Biden's campaign, especially in 2021, in the early part of his administration, that progressives are not happy and that we want somebody else other than Biden. And if you look at polling, in fact, there's been strong sentiment that shows that a lot of Democrats don't necessarily want Biden to run again, or if they could choose, they would have somebody different run. But what I've always thought is that when the rubber hits the road and it comes down to it, and it's going to be Trump versus Biden, 99% of Democrats are going to line up and support Biden, as they should, because the alternative is so disastrous that it cannot be even entertained for a second. Doing something that is going to hurt Joe Biden's chances of winning re-election. So here it is. We got AOC has endorsed President Joe Biden's re-election campaign, sending a strong sign of Democratic unity from one of the party's most liberal members. I think he's done quite well, given the limitations that we have, Ocasio-Cortez said on the Pod Save America podcast Thursday. I do think that there are ebbs and flows. Cortez, a self-described Democratic socialist from New York, has sometimes bucked Biden and the party leaders, including in voting against the deal the president negotiated with Republicans in May to raise the nation's debt ceiling and casting the lone Democrat vote against the spending bill to keep the government operating and avoid a partial government shutdown. She endorsed Bernie Sanders in 2020. Biden is facing challenges from Marianne Williamson and anti-vaccine activist Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Ocasio, when asked about whether she'd support Biden, she said, "I believe given that field, yes." The Congresswoman said she felt Biden had a strong start in his presidency with the passage of the American Rescue Plan aimed at relief from the impact of the pandemic and the Inflation Reduction Act, a major climate and healthcare law. But Ocasio-Cortez said there are also areas I think could have gone better. Hey, totally fair. That's basically where I'm at with Biden. I think he's been a great president. I think that he's done a lot of great things. There's certain areas that I think he could have pushed harder and done better in certain areas. That's totally fair. But and Marianne Williamson, I like her. Okay, I like her message. I like her spunk. I like her progressive points that she makes. I just don't think that 2024 is the time for her. Okay. And I think that she's somebody that might have a future in politics. And she's somebody that us as progressives, I might take more of a hard look at her in 2028. But I just don't see it being a viable option for us as Democrats to challenge Biden at this point, because it's going to feed right into the narrative that the Democrats are a party in disarray. And what we should be doing as Democrats is uniting as much as we can and showing contrast to the Republican infighting that has been on full display really for a while now, since the 2022 midterms. Like, you could say that it's picked up quite a bit. And it's culminated in McCarthy's failed speakership bid that took 14 votes. We have Marjorie Taylor Greene being kicked out of the House Freedom Caucus, which I might cover in tomorrow's show. There's just a lot, and then DeSantis and Trump going at each other every morning. Not a great look for the Republicans, and I'm proud of AOC for endorsing Biden early and not leaving any room for speculation as to whether or not she's going to be supporting him.